Hey, Ian.
What?
You know the two-person thing we do?
What's that?
Make a podcast. Pow!
That was a bit jumpy, but okay. Never
That
mind.
was not as good as
That, you know what? That's okay.
All right.
We were able to introduce it.
Well, that
Yeah.
was a John Sean reference. But
Yeah.
good morning, everyone.
Yeah.
When it's not morning, it's 6 o'clock at night. But good morning.
At time of recording.
But
Yeah, welcome to the IT department.
Week 4, but actually it's
Yeah, because, well, in the maintenance category,
we were gone.
we were
Also,
gone for Thanksgiving stuff.
We were eating turkey. Well, he was eating more turkey than me because he was gone longer.
I guess that kind of works that way.
Yeah.
In a sort of way.
In the family I went to, we actually didn't get leftover turkey.
Really?
They refused to give us leftover turkey. It just all goes to my grandpa.
Oh, okay then.
We got rolls and the salad we made that was like practically eating and
Yeah.
our pies. We didn't get anyone else's pies, just our pies.
Well done. But were they good rolls at least?
Oh, they were really good rolls. And then
were they like cowboy donuts
pretty much
rolls? Nice.
And then the pies we got, we had Butterfinger pie, which
Mhm.
had 2 slices left. Then apple pie, which had
Hey,
8
yeah.
slices left.
You know, like I have nothing against apple pie. It's just like I usually take pumpkin over
I hate pumpkin
everything else.
pie. Pumpkin pie. I'm okay with other pumpkin things.
Pumpkin cookies.
Pumpkin cookies are fine. Might want to move closer. It's kind of, you look at the sound bars. You guys can't see the sound bars, but look at the sound bars. They're tiny. All right.
Okay,
So-
so I'm closer now.
So basically, let's go into R&D.
Yeah, welcome to research and development. Oh, my first thing in R&D today is Battlefront 2
The last
EA.
the last 2 weeks ago.
Which was our main topic in the previous episode. And the
Yeah.
reason it's here in R&D is because, well, obviously a lot has happened since then. You know, notably, like, EA has lost, like, $3.1 billion.
Yeah, $3.1 billion in stock.
Yeah, as a
In
result
stock.
of the poor performance
Yeah.
of Battlefront 2. And like last time we covered a lot of the things with the loot box controversy and the microtransactions and all that. And although I want to correct myself, after seeing some reviews of the game itself within gameplay and whatnot, it actually isn't that fun.
Oh, shoot.
The single player story is actually pretty disappointing.
Oh, yeah, it's really short.
Not only is it really short, it was another lie, I guess you could call it, because EA had advertised it as this very Empire focused story, right?
Yeah.
And I thought it was gonna be like, oh, this is gonna be pretty cool. It's gonna start like at the Battle of Endor, and it's going to tell the story of how the First Order came about.
It didn't.
Yeah, like 2 missions in, your main character goes to the Rebel Alliance, and yeah,
Rip.
and then like it gets to the second to last mission, which is the Battle of Jakku, and then jump cut to a mission with Kylo Ren, which that mission, the very last mission where you play as Kylo Ren, is legitimately the only interesting mission I found in the game. And I guess
I
like
can be a whiny Skywalker.
it's just-
Well, a whiny Solo, actually.
Yeah.
Sorry.
You see-
Anger issues.
the first mission, obviously because it's the first mission and you're just starting, and I was just like, yeah, this can be good. And then the more I found out about the story of the game, and I'm just like, this is just a disappointment.
Rip.
I was like, they should have stayed consistent. Told the story of the Empire throughout all of this. Tell me the story of how the First Order came about from that kind of perspective, spanning from Endor to the First Order. That would be cool, and that did not happen.
Well, they probably want to leave it to Disney because Disney's probably like, hey, that's our story to tell, not yours.
Well, they authorized them to tell that. That it was a license that they gave them to do, was to tell that story, and it was a canon story.
Rip.
So I don't know. Well, then again, Disney holds the cards, and they can at any time say that Battlefront 2 campaign is no longer canon. They can do that if they wanted
like,
to.
They confirmed that Boba Fett living is not canon, which is absolute garbage.
Yeah, the climbing out of the Sarlacc thing.
And then...
I have one other thing for Battlefront 2, though.
Okay.
Concerning cosmetics.
Oh, no.
Maybe you've heard about this.
I have not.
No, because one of the executive people from EA, I think their CFO, was at a technology conference, and he had said that the reason that their loot boxes were not... My Beagle has arrived.
Oh, yes, the Beagle.
Hi, Beagle.
The Beagle has interrupted our podcast. You've brought shame upon your family.
But he had said that the reason the loot boxes in Battlefront 2 were not cosmetic based is because that would violate canon.
What?
Is because it's like they didn't want to put cosmetics and customization in their game because it would violate canon. And then he gave the most extreme example, the dumbest, most extreme example by saying nobody wants a pink Darth Vader. Nobody was asking for a pink Darth Vader.
Nobody wants a pink Darth Vader.
Actually, that would be actually kind of funny.
Or how about,
No.
have you ever read Star Wars Infinities? Or Infinites?
Mm-mm.
Or I don't remember. At one point, it's basically when things changed in the
Yeah,
original trilogy.
you would tell me about
And
that.
then I think it's the Sith movie where, or no, it's the.
Doesn't Vader have a white suit?
Oh yeah, he turns red and has a white suit.
See, and that was another thing that he was just like, no one wants a Vader in a white suit. And it's like, but that was actually a thing in one of the.
That was. It's not canon.
It's
but,
not canon, but it's there, and I
it's probably
understand that.
Infinity's
But
universe.
in terms of canon, they were just like, oh, there's no way this isn't canon.
And
well,
then
two
Yoda-
things about that. One, first of all, you have plenty of things like just looking at clone troopers. You have plenty of different things that you can do with customization and your appearance on of your clone trooper armor. That's already canon. Just look at Star Wars and Clone Wars, all the different units, all right?
That's kind of what they based off all the droids and
Exactly.
voices.
Exactly.
Off of.
So, and then the other thing is that, your heroes. You're telling me that cosmetics might violate canon, but at the same time, you can play as Rey and Yoda and Darth Maul and Darth Vader during the Battle of Theed on Naboo at the same time?
It's canon. It's canon.
Oh, that's right. That kind of cross-era warfare with the heroes doesn't work. It's like, as this, and it's actually kind of funny the way this works, but it's still kind of dumb, is that you could play as Leia, and you could shoot the crap out of your son because Kylo Ren is one of the other playable villains, right?
Yes, kill that man.
So that's there's a funny thing about that. EA's trying to shift the blame on Lucasfilm for the reason their loot boxes.
All right, rip. So,
One last thing with
Okay.
that though, players have actually found a customize option in the game.
Oh,
Yeah, you can't do anything with it, but you can look at different appearances and and that's different alien races for the Rebel Alliance too. And it's just so at what point were you going to give us this thing in the game? Why are you trying to hide this? So,
it's gonna be an update in 3 years.
that's right. So there's some R&D for Battlefront 2 there. Just a little update.
My first thing in R&D is: did you watch the Rampage trailer?
No, sir.
Basically, you played the Rampage game. Sorry, that was loud.
And
The Rampage game is basically 3 humans get turned into monsters. One a giant ape, one a giant crocodile, and one a giant wolf.
Mhm.
And they basically Godzilla the place up and wreck buildings. That's the video game.
Oh,
It was an arcade game of the 80s.
oh,
And so they're making a movie off of it.
I think
And basically, the premise is Dwayne The Rock Johnson, or
oh wait, I had seen a picture of that.
Is-
Yeah,
is one of those people that is Jane Goodall, but
yeah,
Dwayne The Rock Johnson, and he goes and
yeah.
he lights the monkeys more than he lights the humans, and then all of a sudden a science canister falls out of the sky,
Science
a
canister.
science canister, and it turns this white ape that looks like Winter from War of the Planet of the Apes,
Mhm.
pretty much,
Yep.
and turns him into a giant evil ape. and
That's
then he
right.
goes
I had seen.
rampaging the
I had
city.
seen that. I'm guessing it was a poster.
And then yeah,
Yeah,
it's a pretty cool
I had
poster.
seen that. Yeah.
And then there's a giant wolf, and then the last second you see a giant crocodile, which doesn't look like that's at all. Wink, wink. I mean, he has spines all over his back and has a big old.
Does he have atomic breath?
We don't know that yet. We don't know.
At least appearance-wise. It's
Yeah.
oh, not at all. Wink,
Not
wink.
really. But I think he bought some 4 legs for now. They're trying to go a more
Okay,
realistic
I
approach,
see, I see.
and the wolf is horrifying on us.
Ooh.
I mean, it's not extremely scary. It just has skin falling off, and it's just gross.
Delicious.
Delicious.
that's a word you need.
All right, do you want to go with your next thing next? Because I have 2 more things to go on with.
Well, obviously,
Your next thing
really,
is
really the biggest R&D topic for this week is the Avengers.
Mario serial.
You cut me off. Okay, well, yeah, we'll get to that. But it is the
Dark Ages.
Avengers Infinity War trailer.
That was
Tim,
pretty-
how many times did you watch it?
I watched it at least 5 times.
I think I maybe am up to 10.
Rip you.
Yeah, rip me.
Rip your life.
It's like,
Rip an hour of your time.
because I don't have one. Yeah. What did you think, Tim, of that trailer?
I'm excited. I'm like more
Oh, yeah.
excited than
Oh,
it was
yeah.
for Ultron. Ultron, honestly,
Yeah.
kind of let me down.
Yeah, I was disappointed a little. Not too much though.
Who's
'cause
directing
I still
it
very
anyway?
much like Age of Ultron, but it just didn't quite.
Ultron wasn't good enough.
It wasn't on the level of Avengers.
Yeah.
Of the first Avengers. So
I liked what
you
it
were
led up-
asking who was directing?
Yeah, so if it's
Infinity
Joss
War?
Whedon, it's gonna be garbage.
No, Anthony and Joe Russo, the
Okay.
two brothers who directed Civil War
It's-
and Winter Soldier. Yeah.
It's gonna be great, guys. Just trust me.
Well, I don't blame Joss Whedon exactly for what happened in Age of Ultron. Sometimes that's some studio influence
Yeah.
that takes over with that.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't do
Sure.
because it is. It's not always the directors. A lot of the
Yeah, I
times,
know,
a
I'm
lot of the time it's the studio.
Unless you're Zack Snyder, then you're the actual devil.
Right, back to the Marvel side of things.
Sorry.
But one of the things I immediately noticed in the trailer itself was like from a musical standpoint, because we had talked in our first episode with Thor Ragnarok how, at least I think we did, how there's
Maybe.
finally some music continuity that in Thor Ragnarok, like they use themes from the first Thor movie and the
Yeah.
second Thor movie, right? And the Infinity War trailer actually uses the Avengers theme.
Mm-hmm.
Because one of the problems with like the Age of Ultron is, and the first Avengers had kind of an excuse with its trailers because they were still in post production when they were rolling those trailers out, so they didn't have that theme, I guess, per se, to release yet until the film. But with Age of Ultron, that didn't have an excuse. None of the teasers in Age of Ultron had the Avengers theme used in the trailer.
Did the movie have the Avengers theme?
Oh yeah, it did. But
Okay.
a lot of the thing is just the advertising that helps it to become a much
Yeah.
more
There-
iconic
there's-
theme.
There was a study made that when people were asked, name a music from certain property, I can hear your brother playing something.
Oh no!
It's fine. If you guys on the podcast, it just
Yeah.
would sound like somebody's punching someone. But
It's all good.
there was a study that was like, they asked a bunch of people, hum some music from Harry Potter, Jurassic Park, Star Wars, Indiana Jones, DC.
You
And
know
they
what
went-
all of those movies you had just listed had in common?
What?
John Williams. Except for DC. Did you notice that? He
Oh,
said,
yeah.
"What did you say? Star Wars?
Yeah, it did say
You
Star
said Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
You said Harry Potter,
Mhm.
and you said
Shoot.
all of those themes were made by John Williams."
And then they asked, hum music from a Marvel movie. And
Mhm.
the only person was able to hum something, sang the Spider-Man theme from the 1960
"Yeah,
TV show.
it wasn't the MCU."
Yeah.
So
It's just,
and
but
yeah,
they-
because part of it it's not necessarily bad music.
yeah.
Of course, John Williams has a reputation. He's an absolute maestro. He's an absolute genius with music. But it's not to say that all of the music in the MCU is terrible per se.
Oh,
It's
no.
just a lot of it is if they advertise it correctly and they use it correctly, then it becomes a much more iconic thing.
Yeah.
I was happy to see that they brought the Avengers theme back in this Infinity War teaser.
All right, so we talked a lot about music. What did you actually think of the trailer?
That's what was it? And I'm just kidding.
That's all you thought?
I was already excited.
Mhm.
Going into
Then
it.
you got more excited.
Definitely, to be able to see all these characters come together on this kind of scale.
There's going to be
Yes.
Ant-Man in the movie. He just wasn't in the trailer.
Yeah, and Hawkeye didn't make an appearance either. But
Black Widow was
yeah, she did.
was in there for a couple seconds. I almost said what my sister used to tell Black Widow.
What was that?
For some reason, when she was little, she knew Black Widow was a hero. She loved her, but she didn't know how to say widow, so she just told her black woman.
No, I don't, no, that's not correct.
So
Is it?
I almost just said Black Widow woman was in the trailer for a couple seconds.
Well,
Yeah, no, sorry.
not really.
Well, they
But I
had,
was like, and
they had Black Panther and his girlfriend,
they did. Yes, that's right.
so I guess I'm right in both ways.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Tim, stop it.
All right.
But yeah, I was absolutely excited.
Cap has a nice beard. There's a nice amount of dead people on the floor when Tony starts walking.
That's right. Yeah.
And there's a nice amount of Doctor Strange already.
And of course, Thanos' voiceover
Mhm.
of the trailer, I quite like that. Yeah, and of course the Guardians.
Guardians
appearance
is
at
the
the
best
very
part of
end.
the
That was very funny.
And then you got the Thor, which in the Comic Con teaser they did, the first thing you saw was Thor floating through space, and he gets hit with the Guardians windshield, and then they just keep going.
Tim, why did you tell me that? Did you watch a leak?
Oh no, I just read this.
Oh, well, you're not supposed to do that either.
I mean, I was excited.
I know, but
I was
yeah,
reading
okay.
stuff about
Yeah.
the Thor end credit scenes with the
Uh-huh.
and should we say spoilers real quick?
Oh, for Ragnarok?
Ragnarok.
Yeah. Go
All
ahead.
right, spoilers.
Spoilers for Thor
like,
Ragnarok.
for like a minute. For like a minute, I swear. So basically, when the Thanos' ships comes in, I was like, one, confirmed it was Thanos, and then it said,
Same
oh yeah, it's
story.
Thanos, and then
Yeah.
then they said, oh yeah, in Comic-Con, the trailer for Infinity War has Thor flying through space and gets hit by the Guardian's ship. I'm like, oh, okay. All right, spoilers done.
Yeah, there you go. There's just a little bit of that for you. I also liked how they used that the Nick Fury line. And then the trailer is like there was an idea
Oh yeah,
to assemble to.
but
assemble a
Nick
group of
Fury
remarkable people.
hasn't been in a movie for years.
I think he will be in this one.
Probably.
Yeah.
I think he's signed up.
Because like I haven't seen him in any of the trailers obviously, but I like in one of the like a photo shoot for like Variety or Vanity Fair magazine. They had Sam Jackson there, so I'm not sure what that. What was that?
Cool.
Oh, okay.
Ouch.
There's Infinity War talk for you.
Yeah, that's pretty much
Yeah.
all that Infinity War. Cap has a nice beard. Get that man a shield.
Yes. Send someone get this man a shield.
He does the good voices. I just do the talking.
Sometimes I do good voices.
All right, so I have 3 more things. These shouldn't take too long. Maybe the first up will. So, last week's box office. Guess who won? I already told you.
Yeah, that's right. It's Coco, isn't it?
Yeah, it's Coco. Coco won with probably 100 million. And
Disney
then,
Pixar's Coco. Yeah.
and then Justice League only got 40 million.
Yeah.
That was at least US.
Yeah. Right.
Yesterday, Justice League finally hit 500 million worldwide.
Right. Ooh.
Yeah. Not a good situation for DC.
Yeah.
They're expected to
I-
lose from 10 million to 100 million on this movie.
I actually do legit feel bad
I don't.
because I wanted Justice League to be
Too
good.
many mistakes.
I wanted to enjoy that.
Too many mistakes.
But yeah, but I was just hoping they could remedy that. You know.
You can never remedy Batman vs Superman. You know this. Justice League said the worst DC comic book movie opening since Green Lantern.
Yeah, I knew that.
Rip the spandex. No, CGI suits actually.
That's right. They'll make the super suit green or animated. There's a Deadpool reference
there's-
for you.
All right. So is that all we want to talk about? That Justice League kind of sucks right now,
Yeah.
Or
we
is
can
sucking?
we can just say that Disney Pixar's Coco beat Justice League.
and it's expected to beat them again.
Again.
It's
Ooh.
Justice League has 26 million right now. The box office
Mm-hmm.
according to Rotten Tomatoes, and Coco has 40 million or 50 million.
Do you know how Coco is doing, by the way?
I don't know.
It's a Pixar movie, so
Yeah. It's doing well. I would
Okay,
think.
yeah.
I think it's got good reviews.
All right.
All right.
good.
So, have you ever played Injustice 2?
I haven't played any of the Injustice games.
Okay, it's really fun. Justice 2 is really fun. They
Mhm.
added a lot of new characters. The storyline's great. Basically, I don't know exactly, but at one point Joker forces Superman to kill Lois Lane,
Mm-hmm.
and then he gets super mad, kills the Joker,
Ooh.
and then tries to take over the world. And Batman's
Well, that was the Injustice 1 storyline.
and then it's just Justice 1. The canon is after that, Superman's taken down.
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
put in jail, and
Yeah.
then basically Justice 2 is the continuation of that story. They bring a new Joker in from a different universe, and then basically the first opening cutscene for Superman when each fight he breaks out of his bars.
Ah,
And
okay.
so-
Yeah.
I don't know if you heard about this because you don't play Injustice,
Mhm.
but they announced a new DLC for it,
Okay.
and the DLC trailer is amazing. So basically, you have this building where you have one of the Mortal Kombat DLC characters fall over and die. Then you have the Black Mantis, or whoever Aquaman's main villain is, fall over and die.
Yep.
And then some oil spills over and a lighter hits and explodes. Then you see
Yeah.
Captain Atom jump out of there. Then on
Oh.
the street you see the Enchantress, and she's like seeing all the explosions. She gets out magically, and they start to fight. And then all of a sudden, a little knife
Yeah.
cuts them in the middle, and then you hear, "This is going to be fun," and it's a guy in a trench coat and a suit, and moves it. It's Raphael, the Ninja Turtle. They added the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles to Injustice 2. Do you want to pull up the trailer on your computer? Would you just have them listen to it?
No, I'm fine. I'm fine with that. But I don't want to get any copyright claims.
Oh, we'll watch it after this is done.
Yeah, so
it's
but-
absolutely
okay.
freaking hilarious, and it's not like realistic Ninja Turtles. It's like 1980s people in suit Ninja Turtles.
That's the way they look. Okay.
Yeah, and then like Leonardo.
Like, who owns Ninja Turtles?
It's like Paramount.
Okay, so like, did DC like strike a deal?
Well, the thing is, there's been a Batman Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles crossover comic.
Oh, okay. So I guess they already had the.
Yeah, so they already had the
okay.
comic book rights, and then
Yeah.
they just gave it to another realm to put in the name
Okay,
or something.
yeah,
And
okay.
then me and my friends got talking, because we're like, okay, Ninja Turtles have been DC Comics before. If they can do this with other crossover characters, who they can do? And I brought up the DC Comics crossover comics with Looney Tunes. My favorite one is one where you have the main DC comic character, Lobo,
Yeah.
is hired by Wile E. Coyote to kill the Roadrunner. I want Wile E. Coyote as a playable character in Justice 2. And then there's
Spam them with emails, my man.
I will. I'll start a change.org petition to
Start
put
tonight.
Kevin James and just Windows Defender
Notification.
as always. The annual podcast notification about my cybersecurity.
That's right. Yeah, we always have to have at least one of those
All right.
per episode.
Yeah.
What was that about Kevin James?
Did you hear about the House of Cards Kevin James petition?
Oh, right. Yeah. Like, never
Yeah.
mind. Never mind.
Yeah.
You told me
just
about that.
joking
Yeah.
about that,
Yeah.
Basically replaced Kevin Spacey with Kevin James in House of Cards. It's got like 50,000 supporters. It's probably not going to happen though.
No.
No.
No. Of course. No.
All right. Last bit of news is they're making a Super Mario Odyssey themed cereal,
Mm-hmm.
and the cereal box is an amiibo. You click it to your Nintendo Switch, and it'll give you more coins and more life in the amount of time, in a certain amount of time, and you just keep repeatedly clicking the cereal box to your cereal. So when it runs out, you just keep doing it. Like all coins are like doubled or tripled or something, and your life goes from 3 hits to 6
Just from a cereal box.
from a cereal box, and it has like marshmallows. It's just basically Lucky or
It's Lucky Charms Mario theme.
Lucky Mario, yeah. But it's not called Lucky Charms. It's Super Mario cereal.
Okay, is this like you can buy this anywhere, or is
I think
it
they're doing Walmart.
Ultimate Life Hacks?
Ultimate Life Hats with the IT department. Go buy Mario
Yeah.
cereal for $15, and then
Because then you can get 3 hearts in game
3 extra hearts. Yeah,
and in real life, maybe.
I think
Depending on how
there's
much sugar you
It's
intake.
probably heart marshmallow. If you can't,
Yeah.
you guys can't see it, but I'm making a heart. thing
Yeah,
with
he's
my
making a
hands.
little heart symbol.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Then again, you may die quicker from diabetes, but who knows?
I've been playing the new Pokemon game, or not the new Pokemon game from last year, and I had to catch a Pokemon to help kill this giant mantis, and I named it Diabetes because I didn't know what else to name it.
What?
It's the salamander that's a bandit, that's a poison fire type. I'm like, what do I name this? Oh yes, Diabetes.
Yes,
Correct. And
of
so
course.
basically, and then I still couldn't beat it, so my friend gave me a Pokemon with super high level, and I killed it in one shot. And then put the guy in my little store and just said, "You're not coming out for a while."
You just stay there.
And then I went to fight the Grand Trial on that one island because it's Hawaii, and I killed that lady basically instantly because it was so much easier.
Yeah.
And my Pokemon almost not leveled up at all. It was so much easier. The grass trial took me 5 minutes, or it took me like 2 tries. I lost the first try. Did a 2.5 tries. I did a halfway try where when I was about to fail, I turned off my DS because I saved before. And the second time, I actually won because I was cheating. But this one, the Grand Trial,
Cheeky.
which had 3 Pokemon instead of 1,
Yeah.
I was able to do in 5 minutes.
Well done. Look at you.
I'm basically that's me. Thank you. I hate you.
You get
All right.
2 claps.
All right, so we move on to the mandatory meeting now.
I think we shall.
All right, so our mandatory topic today, I chose because neither of us
Yeah,
watched
it's-
Justice League, and neither
Yeah,
of us care.
neither of us have watched Justice League, and it was Tim's turn to choose the topic. So
Your turn next.
the episode.
The
The main topic today
is on
is.
time travel and movies,
That's right.
not TV shows. No Flashpoint.
Oh
Oh, it's our second time. The
no! I know.
fourth
It's
time.
like this is the second. It's
we need
it's
we
from
need a
the,
recording studio.
it's from the high school.
You just hang your head up on them.
I did hang up on them.
I'm gonna call you back and just be like, Ian, you were not in your classes. Oh.
You are absent in first hour.
All right. So
that's what's gonna happen.
basically, we're going to talk about the best and the worst time travel movies. Whatever we decide is the best, we're going to watch after the podcast is over, and after we watch the Injustice trailer, because obviously we have to watch that.
That's right. Yeah, that is a priority now.
It is a priority now. All right. Do you want to go first? How many movies you got? You got 4. I got 5.
Actually, here you can start.
Ian has left. Ian has left the building.
I've got to bury the phone.
Oh. Well, guys, I'm going to tell you how Ian's done. Oh, he's
Buried
left.
in pillows now. Not sure how that's
don't
gonna work.
pretend I said nothing. I didn't say anything.
Don't worry, we're talking about time travel. Nothing
Oh, yeah.
happened. Nothing happened.
Nothing
Nothing
happened.
at all.
See, we just time traveled. See, there's just a big time loop.
Yeah, we are just now starting the mandatory
Oh, yeah,
meeting.
just now.
It just now started.
About a minute later, just now.
Yeah.
All right. Do you want to go first? I have one more movie than you bring up, so
Well, honorable mention for time travel.
honorable mention.
So that's because it was mentioned to me. You had mentioned this to me because it was your dad, wasn't it?
Yeah, I told my dad about the podcast. He's like, "What about this movie? What about this movie? What about this?" I hadn't heard of like half the movies he was talking about.
So
Sorry, Dad, I
honorable
love you.
mention to Superman for the sequence in the
Where he kills Lois Lane and has to go save her.
That's right. And he has to.
Where there's no consequences to that. If you are truly going to time travel, when he goes back, he's going to see himself.
Mm-hmm.
It's just.
Yeah.
And if
Well, we've already been through this. That rotating the Earth the other way doesn't.
it doesn't work like
affect
that.
time.
It's just you just ruin the cycle of the Earth, and now the Chinese people are going to be like going to sleep, and all of a sudden the sun's rising. The opposite way.
What? Well, he turns it back.
Well, he's just stopped spinning and goes back.
He spins really fast, and he does that. He leaves a lovely, vibrant blue trail around the Earth.
Oh yeah, because that works.
as he does it,
His
yeah.
red cape leaves a lovely bright blue trail.
That's right.
All right.
There you go. Honorable mention,
Honorable
of,
mention.
Of time travel in that sense.
All right, I'll bring in my honorable mention, which is going to be Groundhog Day.
That's right.
Because is it time travel, or is it just this guy stuck in a loop of a day and the universe decides to punish people for being dumb?
I feel like we can call this time travel / time loops
Yeah.
because I guess we can term this as time is not
Straight.
going as you would normally expect it to. I guess it's not continuous. In that
Oh yeah,
sense.
it's not super continuous.
Yeah, we're going to be talking about movies where time is wonky.
Time breaks
guess.
in a lot of these movies and should
Yes.
already be broken if any of these movies existed.
Mhm.
And honestly, I'm not sure if we'll ever be able to time travel backwards. Only forwards.
Yeah.
And that's just by going very fast.
Yeah.
Or maybe just sitting near a black hole for a couple of days and leaving.
Yeah, it's like let relativity do the work, and more on that later. But like similar along the lines of Groundhog Day, excuse me. I also had Edge of Tomorrow,
That was a good movie.
which follows. Yes, it's a very good movie. I very much enjoyed that film.
Tom Cruise's
Yeah.
middle tooth.
That's what you noticed from Edge of Tomorrow. So you were just looking at his tooth the entire
No,
movie.
I just Tom Cruise has this one tooth in the middle of his face. It's just weird. He's also a Scientologist, so that's probably what happens to
Oh
you.
my gosh.
I'm the one that brings the bad jokes. Ian brings the personality to the podcast.
There we go. We figured out how to make this successful.
We figured out the
Yeah.
person. I'll start a website and it'll be like, Ian over here brings the personality and Ash brings content. Tim tries to make jokes and horribly
We
fails.
figured out the secret to podcasting. But yeah, Edge of Tomorrow that followed that Timler. There you go. I'm gonna let you coin that phrase.
Timler.
Similar concept to Groundhog Day in those
Wasn't it
time
based
loops.
off of a Japanese thing?
Yeah, Edge of Tomorrow was based off of a graphic novel, which I've heard ends much more less happy than the film does.
Most things end less happy
Wh-
than the film does.
Which I take to mean that
They didn't win.
probably.
Probably not.
Yeah.
I don't know.
They probably did not win, but the way it was handled, I also liked the concept, the way they did it using the blood of the what was it, Omega.
It was the Omegas, yeah, the aliens that can somehow.
Well,
control-
not the blood of the Omega. It was the blood of one of the.
Alpha Omegas.
It's called an alpha, though, isn't it?
Might be.
I think it's called an alpha, but yeah, the
I'm just
blue
guessing. I haven't
the blue
watched this in a while.
the blue version of
The
the,
big tall
creature,
one.
yeah, the creatures
Big
that
tall
they're
one.
fighting, and
There's the tiny ones that spin around and do horrid stuff, and there's the big ones that spin around and do horrid stuff.
And they have
And
special
if,
blood.
And if you blow them up and their
yeah, if you get their blood, then
bodily
yeah.
fluids get all over you, then you can
Yeah.
time travel.
I liked what they did there with that. It was like a new sci-fi twist that I liked.
And you see his face melting, and then he wakes up in the boot camp. It's pretty good.
Yeah,
It's pretty good.
and then there was the similar to Groundhog Day. When the Groundhog Day sequence where he's just like continually killing himself in different ways.
Yeah.
Edge of Tomorrow also had like a sequence like that where it's like where he's like training, or like he
Again,
keeps dying,
just shoots him.
keeps dying,
And then he like doesn't want to go back to talk to her for a while, and then or at the point where he's memorized the battle so much that he just like tells her, "Hey, you go this way, or someone's going to kill you. You go this way," and just horrid existence.
and then it gets to the point where, because he's built that relationship with the character, with Rita is her name, Emily Blunt's character, that he eventually decides to like, well, I can't save her from doing this, so I'm gonna run solo for this because I've developed feelings.
Yes,
Which
Tom
makes
Cruise has
logical
feelings.
sense because we're human.
Tom Cruise has feelings. People confirmed by Ian. Ian has confirmed that Tom Cruise.
Well, I'm not sure if that confirmation is as grand as your tooth confirmation.
Yeah, the tooth.
No one can top that now.
Yeah, no one can top that.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna bring up one of my personally my favorite. Yes, my favorite time.
You're struggling today, man.
I am struggling. One of my favorite sci-fi series is Planet of the Apes, and obviously we talked about that before.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously the first movie they have time travel. Oh, it's kind of like one of your movies, time travel, where they just go to like fast as the speed of light, and they're thinking they're going to Orion's Belt, which they don't.
Mm-hmm.
Which is a spoiler
Right.
for anyone who hasn't watched the 1968 film,
In which case,
which is classic and pretty much.
go
every American
watch the original Planet of the Apes.
Yeah, and, which Ian has not.
Well, I wasn't excluding myself in my defense.
Yeah, Ian.
I didn't say that I didn't have to watch.
All right, and then in the third one, which we don't speak of because it's garbage, they also time travel back in time this time, but they're actually monkeys that time travel, not the people.
Hmm.
And they wear spacesuits and they're called Apenauts.
What about that Tim Burton one?
Garbage. I hate it.
I know. I was just trying to.
I like watched like a couple minutes of it, like on YouTube, and I'm like, this is garbage. I'm never gonna watch this in my life.
Mark Wahlberg.
Marky Mark.
That was another John Sean reference. Moving on.
Well, not really
Yeah.
John Shaw reference. He may have referenced it in his video.
Well, that's what I meant.
All right.
Again.
All right. Do you want to bring up your next one? Because I have.
Well, if you want to talk a little bit more about exactly what they're doing in Planet of the Apes, unless you're satisfied.
That's pretty much
with
it.
that.
They just go
Yeah.
into a rocket ship and travel forward in time, and then when they travel back in time, they completely screw up the entire timeline and they make a new timeline, which is pretty nice.
Right.
Like in the original timeline, apes eventually kill the humans, and then, what is it? Then the apes rule the world. And
Right.
Then the world gets nuked to death because the gorillas are garbage and anger the mutant humans that can use mind powers.
Right.
And then in the new timeline, Caesar is able to stop the apes from killing all the humans and makes a nice human-ape equal society. And then the last shot of the film is a statue of Caesar crying because he's happy or something. I don't know.
A statue?
Like it's 600
Oh.
years into the future.
Okay.
And then there's like you see an ape teaching all these human and ape children about Caesar's sacrifice, and you see a statue of Caesar crying, like with a tear going down a statue eye.
Single tear of joy.
Yeah, I don't know, maybe just a tear, and then
Yeah.
the credits go up, and it's
Okay.
it's concluded that the timeline has changed, and people are like
Which number film is that?
5. That's the 5th one.
5 out of 5.
5 out of 5.
Okay.
And then
Complete story. I
complete
guess.
story, and because it's like that, because the timeline changes, it could mean that the new ape trilogy is also in the canon, but the timelines change, so it doesn't.
Right. Right.
But also, that could also mean it doesn't exist, because they also mentioned there's a plague that kills all the dogs and cats.
Right.
So I don't know. Timelines are weird. All right.
Yeah, titles are weird. Moving on to, because it's similar in concept, but a little bit more scientific, was Interstellar.
Oh boy.
How there was
Going with
time
the
travel,
dresses.
or weird stuff happening with time. Of course, there's the
Yeah.
thing with relativity that's going on because they go through a wormhole, right? And they're traveling at very high speed, not faster than the speed of light.
Yeah.
Because one of the things that the advisor on the film, the scientific advisor on the film,
Brush my hands in your chair.
don't do that.
Yeah, I'm not doing that anymore. that hurt. Ouch. Go ahead.
which I'm forgetting the name of, but like the one thing that he like absolutely would not go on because director Christopher Nolan wanted to stretch some things a little bit for storytelling, but just because it's still a fairly accurate scientific film, but he wanted to have at least one scene where the characters like went faster than the speed of light, and the advisor on the film was just like no, and I was just like. I will let you do like some things on this film that maybe stretch this law a little bit about law and physics a little bit, but that one we are not doing that. And they talked about it for like 2 weeks and then they eventually decided. But anyway, with that there's the thing, the wormhole, and then there's the relativity with your black hole. But I think most importantly, the more wonky thing about time, which I confuse a lot of people, is the Tesseract sequence inside the black hole.
So is Loki
right?
in there?
No, that is it. The thing in the center of the black hole, the space bookshelf, as people like to call it, that's what a tesseract is. It's a geometric shape, and that's what it is. That's what it looks like. And that was a very interesting thing. That the reason some people didn't like it was because they didn't understand it. And then I'd watched the video on like Neil deGrasse Tyson explaining it. Because it's in a higher dimension. Because you and me, like we're bound by 4 dimensions. We have our 3 dimensions, right?
I guess so.
Usual 3 dimensions, but there's a fourth value, I guess you could say, that allows this reality to exist, and that's time. Okay, and like that's the only one we're bound by because we can interact with our 3-dimensional spaces. Like I can slap your computer.
The recording's ruined.
But we can't really do anything with time.
Oh shoot!
But if you go to a higher dimension, like the Tesseract was, then you can then interact with time, right? As a physical dimension. So I like the thing that I was doing there. That's maybe it's not technically time travel as we're used to time travel per se.
It's that you go fast and you stand next to a black hole for a while, and then eventually
it's all in relativity.
You stand next to a black hole for a couple of minutes, and you go back, and your daughter's dead, or like a lot older.
The abridged version? No, that's yeah.
I'm not your dead, Dad.
Now, what's the next film you got there?
Back to the Future.
That's right. Yeah, the
classic.
Yeah, we're gonna.
Which was the theme for.
How could we forget the
classic?
The movie.
Manure.
Mm-hmm. What?
I just remember the scene where Biff runs into a big old truck of manure.
Oh, right.
But he steals it.
All I heard was manure, and I'm like, what?
I just said manure. That's all I said.
Okay, yeah. Okay. Yeah, but how could we forget the film that we used the theme of to introduce the podcast?
Yeah, that was coincidence.
Yeah, we were talking about it, and we had decided that the most recognizable time travel movie was going to be Back to the Future, and that's why we used it as the original thing.
Or is it? Dramatic music.
And ruffling of paper.
Yeah, see those lines right there on the little thing that signifies dramatic music. There's like really sharp lines on a recording.
Sure, yeah.
Yes. All right.
But like just as far as like not even within the film itself, but just the title, how it's sort of play on words.
Back to the Future.
Yeah, you're going back, which is back in time, but at the same time you're going to the future. So I like it's something simple like that, but it's very clever.
You see it in every movie. They actually have to get back to the future at some point.
Yeah.
Even if in the second movie they go to the future and then they come back.
Mm-hmm.
The second movie is the worst of the 3.
Mm-hmm.
Because
you don't like the second one,
is not as much because the third one at least has cowboys and it's really cool and they have to like use a train and then eventually he was flying.
Yep, I remember that sequence.
And he named himself Clint Eastwood. And then the first one,
that's right, yeah.
The first one's it's a novelty and you like travel back to this time in the beginning. And the second one's just I'm back here again. Oops, my bad.
Oops, my bad.
Oops, my dad.
Your dad. Tim, you need to decide what you're talking about.
Sorry. All right. Is there anything else you want to bring up Back to the Future?
Well, I liked the consistency with the characters.
It is pretty consistent
that they had.
And then like, with Biff would play his older self, the same actor, no matter because they're all around the age of Marty McFly. Honestly, that's when they're all around age.
Yeah.
They would just put on weird makeup for when they're super old or when they're middle age or when they played their ancestors.
Right.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and it was kind of weird to find when you watching the third movie, and you expect, oh, maybe it'll be his dad who marries his mom in the third
Yeah.
but actually it's him.
Yes.
It's actually
That's right. Yeah.
whatever his name.
Oh, it's a mustache now.
Yeah, he's a
That's
mustache.
right.
and
That's
he's
right. That's-
Irish or something.
Yeah, a little bit of an accent there.
Yeah,
But
Potatoes. Is he Irish?
I think so. I think it's Irish. Yeah.
I think so. Yeah. All right.
Um,
Back to the Future is pretty good. I want a DeLorean, even though they're garbage.
The only reason is the DeLoreans are popular is because of Back to the Future.
They're garbage.
Because in reality, it's not that good of a car.
If you're gonna make a time machine, at least make it in style, Ian.
Hey, it's true.
Even if the car can barely start
Tim.
sometimes.
How fast do you have to go?
It's like 87 miles per hour plus
88.
one.
Never mind. You know what? We're both right. You were being tricky there. I like that. There you go.
Right. You have one more movie, but I have two more. Do you want me to bring up at least one before we get to yours?
Yeah, go ahead.
Alright, so there's a new Star Trek, but you also informed me the old Star Trek is time travel, so this list is void. I need to
You
actually.
need to stop throwing your paper.
I like throwing my paper.
Yeah. But yes, the Star Trek films. Specifically, we're going to be talking about the J.J. Abrams reboot.
JJJ. J.J.
No, it's
Jameson
just-
rebooted the whole Star Trek universe.
J.J.
James
Abrams. But yeah, I'd mentioned to Tim that the Star Trek series, excuse me,
Yes.
the Star Trek series has always had time travel in it, but I point out the main difference, and that's the reason that the Star Trek reboot is allowed to work the way it does, is because for time travel things that would happen in like the Star Trek First Contact, where they go back in time, and I can't remember exact details and specifics. I'm not that dedicated of a Trek.
I haven't watched
Person.
any of the old films.
Yeah.
Besides Wrath of Khan.
It's the one with the First Contact has Patrick Stewart. It's like the Next Generation
Oh, okay.
cast. And they go back in time to when warp drives are first invented. So, there's a lot more to it than that. There's a much more overarching conflict that's going on. But the difference with the between the 2009 reboot and the original Star Trek series and like the Next Generation is that
come in and
like if there's something that happens in the timeline in the original stuff, it's always corrected throughout the course of the storyline, whether it's like an episode arc or a film. They always manage to go back and correct the timeline so it's like back to the way it used to be. The difference in the reboot is as a result of the black holes that created and the Nero's ship goes through the black hole and attacks the Kelvin, is that Nero attacking the Kelvin, setting in line the events for the rest of the reboot series,
can't be fixed.
is not fixed.
It can't be fixed.
So as a result, we have this permanent alternate timeline.
I want to do for the last Star Trek movie, what they do is they should just have them go back and just blow up Nero's ship, and then like they'll be like, "Oh,
Well,
oops, that happened,"
I
and
think
then everyone turns into William Shatner. Everyone's William Shatner.
Oh dear, let's not do that.
And
But I
then
did
CGI
read
Spock.
I did read that the next Star Trek film will focus on Chris Hemsworth character in the original, because he plays Kirk's dad in the first one, right? And it's funny because in the Chris Hemsworth, that was before he was a really big dude in Hollywood, because Thor made him the really big sensation, but Star Trek came out 2 years before Thor, and that was like sort of his first experience working on that kind of big production. But anyway, yeah,
But he died in the
I had
50s, so it doesn't matter.
read that he was the next Star Trek film was going to focus on him as a character.
And then I would watch Star Trek Discoveries, but it's rated TV. I don't watch that stuff.
Don't you have to watch it online too?
I know, it's CBS, but
Oh, because I can't remember if I like seen.
it's
somewhere,
not the
like
new
they,
Lord
like,
of the Rings.
Like
series,
they aired the episode, and then they were just like, if you want to keep watching, go online, kind of thing. But I don't know.
It's not the new Lord of the Rings TV show, which is
That's
Amazon
right.
exclusive, which is dumb. All right, I'm gonna pull up. I'll leave you with your last one for the last one.
That's right.
Or do you want to go? I was gonna say you do your last one.
Oh, that's what you're saying. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Alright.
Yeah.
So basically, this one probably be quick. X-Men: Days of Future Past.
Mhm.
That's a really good movie. Probably one of the best X-Men because it fits everything.
Yes, I think my personal favorite X-Men would be First Class.
First Class is pretty good too.
But Days of Future Past would be a second, and like those two are kind of on the same level as well. You know, for me, so it's kind of hard for me to decide that.
Wolverine scene in First Class is pretty funny.
Yeah, I think, and then Hugh Jackman said that was his like favorite scene with the character. It's because like the line that he says, which I won't repeat,
Yeah.
is like perfectly sums up the character of Wolverine. So there's that. But there's the thing I also very much liked the way they did it.
Yeah.
There was no machine that was used per se. It was just one of Kat's abilities that she had, and it just made a lot of sense to me. That, you know, and then it wasn't just an ability that they were just like, oh, by the way, we can use this. They were already using the ability beforehand to for Sentinel attacks to be able to survive the attacks and then escape, because, you know, of course they can't. They can't.
The beginning of that movie is pretty tense.
They just continually Yeah, they're just continually running, so they have to, you know, cheat. I think like Kat said, like the farthest she can go back is a couple weeks for like someone like you and me, who doesn't have the healing factor of of Wolverine. So I liked that element. You know.
Yeah. All right.
Huge jacked man. But I really liked the way they did it with that, and the way it affected his mind too. Mm-hmm. And then it wasn't just like, oh, by the way, it's like, and then you'll wake up back in the altered timeline, and you won't remember anything else that happened in between where it was changed to.
And then he like goes up to Professor X. Dr. X. Professor X. Goes to Professor X. Hey, what's going on? Why is she here?
It's like, what is all this? And he's just like, it worked.
He's like, huh. What? Yes.
And it was also a really great opportunity for the original cast to work with the new cast.
Yeah.
I like that quite a lot. Yeah.
I haven't seen Apocalypse though. I didn't hear.
That's okay. You don't have to. Yeah. Don't bother with Apocalypse.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does it start with like Professor X telling Wolverine what happened, or no?
Wolverine is in. Well, here's the thing about Apocalypse. Here's a little side tangent about X-Men Apocalypse, is that, you know how at the end of Days of Future Past, like Wolverine is pulled out of the river.
Yeah.
Right. And it's like by Stryker, but it turns out to be Mystique.
Yeah.
And then in Apocalypse, you find out that somehow Stryker, the real Stryker, still got his hands on Wolverine, and Wolverine's in the facility again with the adamantium experiment already done.
Rip.
So and that would be a little less, you know, kind of insulting if it was the real Stryker that picked him out of the river at the end of Days of Future Past instead of Mystique disguising. So there's just that kind of lack of continuity, and, you know, it's like, because Days of Future Past was such a great film, and then Apocalypse was a severe disappointment in its footsteps.
Oops. All right.
So
you go ahead with your last movie.
that's right. Yeah, the last movie for time travel in movies, one that has been slightly more complicated in recent years than it was than an original. Yeah. Is the Terminator series.
I haven't watched any of them, just because I don't watch rated R movies.
So it's all good.
I didn't watch Genesis because I knew if it's going to be if all the rated R Terminators considered really good, that it would be good.
Yeah. Do you know the storyline for Terminator?
What?
So you don't?
No.
Okay. So what happens is
basically, I know John Connor, Terminator. I've actually watched 3 on TV because it's on TV, so none of the bad stuff.
That's really unfortunate, because the third one isn't good. It's like the third one is basically the second one, just told much worse.
I like the scene where he's carrying the coffin full of guns while shooting a machine gun.
That was actually kind of, yeah. But anyway,
because
really, which is funny because, you know, James Cameron has said he wants to, you know, reboot the Terminator franchise
again
with a direct sequel to Terminator 2, right? So, like, all Terminator 3 and Terminator Salvation and Terminator Genesis are, like, no longer canon.
You know, Terminator Genesis and Terminator Salvation were supposed to be the start of a new trilogy, both of them.
Yeah.
And both of them failed.
Both of them did not work out in the end. But anyway, the storyline with Terminator is that, you know, mankind, you know, develops a computer system called Skynet. And then it becomes self-aware,
Rip.
And then it's just like, hey, these humans, no, we don't want to deal with these guys. So it launches a nuclear arsenal from the United States. So then the other governments are just like, wait, they're launching nukes, so we launch their nukes, and, you know, nuclear fire globally, right?
Yeah.
And then it's taken over by machines, right?
The Terminators.
So what they find is the leader of the resistance is John Connor, who finds out a way to defeat Skynet and the machines, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, the machines, Skynet's just like, okay, this dude is gonna beat us. So, we're gonna send a Terminator back in time to kill his mom.
Actually, that's
So
pretty
he's
nice.
so he's
Pretty
never
good.
so he's never born. Okay?
It's pretty strange.
And then the resistance finds out about this, and they're just like, "Oh gosh!" It's like, "No, we can't." So they send their own resistance fighter back, Kyle Reese, to protect the mom, Sarah Connor, from the Terminator. So they go back to the year 1984, and it's funny the way it works out, and it's perfect because Kyle Reese is the father of John Connor.
Oh.
By going back in time, and then he becomes the father, and then John Connor is born, and then so on and so forth, and all that happens. And like one of the interesting elements in the film was that he knows that he's the father.
Oh.
So he's sent back in time, and John Connor chooses him to go back in time, and he knows that he's the father. Because and John Connor also knows this too, because.
Dad.
Well, it's kind of confusing because that'll come
Your
in
dad left
at the very end of the film. Sarah Connor is recording like tapes for John about it's like, "Hey, Kyle Reese is your dad, and I hope this won't affect your decision to send him back to protect me." Okay, so it was just a really interesting moment because like that's one of the really interesting parts about it was just like, well, how do I explain this? And it's like, what am I supposed to do here? Because like I'm the dad, and this is really confusing and kind of hard. And of course, Arnold Schwarzenegger. Arnie.
Doesn't he get like turn like taken and then turn good? Or is
No,
that, like,
what happens is the T-800 model that they send back in time in the first film is destroyed by a compressing machine
Rip.
in a factory. And then what happens is that it like like its arm is like reaching out to try and find again that last trying to kill Sarah Connor, and then it's crushed, but the arm is still surviving.
Oh.
And the company gets a hold of this arm and starts developing technology from it that will lead to Skynet again.
Rip.
They don't know that they're doing it. They have no idea. But they're using this arm because there's a chip that also survived from the skull
Oh.
of the Terminator endoskeleton. And they're using this as like, hey, this is pretty advanced. Like, where did this come from? I don't know, but we're going to develop technology from it.
Reverse engineering.
So what they did was the machines try again. Skynet's trying to...
Right, 52
not-
minutes in. We have 2 minutes until
That's
we
right.
beat our line this
Don't
time.
worry. I got this. I got
Okay.
this. The machines try again. So they send back another Terminator so that so Skynet does not die, targeting John Connor directly when he's just a child. He's just like a teenager.
Right.
With the T-1000, which is an advanced liquid metal, and I think which is a truly terrifying Terminator model. That also fails, and they also stop the technology from being developed.
That's from Terminator 3, right?
2.
2. Oh.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Because after Terminator 2 was intended to be the conclusion of the franchise until someone else got their hands on it in the future, because James Cameron had sold the rights for I think $1.
Rip.
So, and then all the Terminator 3 and the Salvation and Genesis happened, and because all the time traveling was easy to follow in just the first 2 movies, but all the different especially Terminator Genesis, all the different crap that's going on in there, it's just like there is no timeline anymore. And the time travel technology is also pretty cool to see because like the time travel machine doesn't it only works with organic material. Anything else would be vaporized. So you have to go in naked.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
There's that.
Oh.
There's that for you. Anyway, time traveling movies,
All
concluding
right.
with my long,
And now I see what the movie's rated at.
really drawn out explanation
All right.
of the Terminator franchise.
Alright, so let's do HR. You got anything for HR?
I don't have anything for the HR.
Alright, so basically there was a comment on our last YouTube video by a guy named Caden Hilton. If you're listening to this, I like you. And basically, he commented something that said hashtag notification squad. I had no idea what that meant. So I had to go into Urban Dictionary to find out what that meant. That basically means he got a notification that our video was put up.
Sweet.
But then the comment was deleted for some reason. I don't know if you deleted it, Caden.
That would be my guess.
Yeah.
Is that-
Caden,
yeah.
why would you do this to me?
Why
I
would you
trust
do it? Bring it back.
Bring it back. Alright.
I guess actually I remember one thing. You remember Molly?
Oh, yeah.
You had sent us that Bob Ross picture in the
yes.
middle of the episode. She had watched that podcast.
Oh, yes.
So she now knows that it wasn't an episode of the podcast.
Molly, you're the greatest.
Thank you, Molly,
You're my
once
hero,
again for
Molly.
that picture and for being a viewer of the podcast.
Alright, so I'm going to end this off by saying, hey, if you want to email us, there's capital IT department pod at gmail.com email, or leave a comment in the YouTube video, because we love to do more HR.
Also on
stuff.
Facebook at the IT Department Podcast.
And then I'm probably going to do a website up soon, because iTunes hates me. So
You can't get that to work?
No.
That's all right.
All right.
We got plenty of avenues for this
we do
to work.
we had 2 Canadian viewers. One
That's
watched
right, that's right, you
One
told me
watched
about
the
this,
entirety of our last episode. One watched a
Yeah.
little bit of it. And so, whoever watched the entirety of our last episode from Canada, you're the greatest. Please watch this one. All right,
Thank you very
we're
much.
going to leave this off here. So, do you want to end it with music or just say bye?
There is no fate but what we make.
Time is time.
That's a quote from Terminator. Anyway,
All right.
goodbye.
Yes, goodbye.